Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS, your hometown station. Hey, make sure you go to hometownstation.com for all the latest and greatest Santa Clarita has to offer. And speaking of the greatest Santa Clarita has to offer, KHTS, we do this every once in a while. We have our Santa Clarita Unsung Heroes. It's a series of special interviews and features. It features focusing on Santa Clarita Valley residents who work behind the scenes to help others without expecting anything in return, and make this world a better place. You make Santa Clarita a better place, but the individual we have today is really working on making the world a better place. And I know this is the worst part for any part of the Unsung Hero interview, is the intro, because you just the person gets really uncomfortable. We have Raquel, aka Rocky Turner, joining us from Mothers Fighting for Others here in the Santa Clarita Valley. And how are you doing?
I'm good, Kyle. How are you? You've actually just made me really nervous, so thank you.
Oh, why? What did I do? Beforehand, we were all good to go. What happened?
You just talked about me, so that just makes me nervous.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So you are the founder of Mothers Fighting for Others.
Correct.
Okay. So we'll get to that in a minute. I want to talk about Rocky in the past, as it were. So where did you grow up? Where are you from? Santa Clarita Valley? Did you grow up somewhere? Did you grow up in Africa? Where are you from?
Actually, I'm from the San Fernando Valley.
Okay.
Went to school there, high school, college, and then my husband and I moved up here. Actually, it's going to be 11 years in January.
Years. Okay. Where'd you go to high school?
Notre Dame.
Oh, Notre Dame.
In Sherman Oaks.
Okay. All right. Good job.
Go Knights.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. So you went to high school in California. Went to school and stuff. Did you
I went
did you
to
go to
CSUN.
college and stuff? CSUN. Okay. What'd you get your degree in?
Health education.
Health education. Okay. And what did you do out of college? What was your job out of college?
I started in sales. Well, I always waited tables. So I waited tables, and obviously that goes straight into sales because you're selling something. Yep. And met my husband.
Okay.
And that was sort of the beginning of the end of that.
Okay.
Got married, started having kids, and now we're married 17 years and 6 kids in.
6 kids. Wow. You got it like an indoor soccer team.
Slightly.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
Our eldest is actually 20 today.
Oh,
happy birthday, Joshua.
Happy birthday, Joshua.
And our next one is, he's 15. He is a sophomore at Saugus High School.
Okay.
And then the next one is 13. He goes to Arroyo Seco. And then I have 3 at the elementary school level, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade.
Okay.
4 boys, 2 girls.
Okay. And so you've just been momming is what you've been doing.
That's what I thought I'd be doing.
Okay. Oh, that's what you really? Okay. Okay. So what happened?
In 2006, I decided to just go online and Google Volunteer Africa. It was like 11 o'clock at night. And I walked into my husband's office and said, just to let you know, I would like to go to Africa. And he goes, okay. And my sister-in-law and I were there the next year.
Okay. All right.
I know.
It wasn't just like a random thought, right? What led up to this? Obviously, your kids are healthy and all this stuff. Was there a commercial on TV that you saw, or what was it that spurred this thought that I want to go to Africa?
I actually always wanted to go. I remember being in high school and wanting to join, to go volunteer somewhere, to join the Peace Corps, something of that nature. And I was actually discouraged by it. But it was always in the back of my head. We had just previously had adopted our 2 daughters. Our youngest daughters are adopted. Well, they're only daughters, but you see a lot of poverty when you travel the world. And I had gone to the Philippines with family. And then going to Guatemala to pick up my children. It's amazing how much poverty is out there. And so it was, what can we do? What can I do? So.
And you just Googled it?
Googled Volunteer Africa.
Really? Why Africa?
It was a continent I'd never been to. It was a place that I'd never been to that I've always wanted to go. And really, why not? My husband and I kind of joked it was going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And
you're still at it.
I counted. I had to actually go onto my Facebook page because each trip I have, marked down, April 2013 to August. And so I had counted, and the last trip I just got back on Sunday was my 17th trip.
Holy cow.
In 7 years.
Okay, so you Google it. You go to your husband, I'm going to Africa.
With your sister.
With your sister. And he's okay with it, obviously.
Obviously.
And so you said you were there a year later. What was happening in that year before you went?
Lots of shots.
Okay.
And sort of preparing the children that, Mom was going to be gone for about 3 weeks.
Okay.
So, and they were all they were all good with it. I mean, a lot of them were young. I mean, if we're talking 7 years ago, I had, two 2-year-olds and a 3-year-old. I mean, they were all, they were all in elementary school. That kind of throws it right there.
Yeah.
I had all my 6 children were
Good
below, they were in that 2 to 3 range up to about 6th grade.
Man.
So my husband had a lot of work to do during those 3 weeks being gone.
I bet. Well, so did you though. So it's, it's not like okay. So you got all the shots. You got the kids ready. You're at the airport. You get on the plane. What happens? Well, you get there, obviously. But what are your feelings? What are your feelings? What's going through your head the first time you went? And maybe you can't even remember it because you've done it so many times.
Well, what I do remember is that we were assigned to an all-girls home. That's what we knew for sure. And that scared me more than anything. Even though I had 2 girls, they were still really small, so we hadn't really gotten into the girl problems or girl issues or whining or anything of that nature. So that scared me the most. And what am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? What do you do with teenage girls? I had really no idea. And so when we got there, it was nothing that I actually really expected because I didn't know these children. But within about 24 hours, they're holding my hands and they're under my arms and we're playing jump rope and we pretty much were in at that point.
Yeah.
We're done.
And this is your first year. What organization did you do it with? Because you hadn't made Mothers Fighting for Others yet.
It was a group. They're still around. It's called Global Volunteer Network.
Okay.
And we chose them based on where they were located, what they were affiliated with, and so forth. And they had about 4 programs that were on the continent. And I knew that I could only be gone for 2 to 3 weeks. I didn't want to work with animals. I didn't want to. I couldn't work in a hospital setting because I didn't have the background to do that. So Kenya was the one country that worked with children, specifically with children. So that's why I picked it.
And so you picked them, and then so you're there for 3 weeks. Talk to me about the experience being there for 3 weeks.
You basically fall in love with kids. It's that simple. There was a set of sisters. One is Winnie, and her,
I've read about Winnie. I've read about this Winnie.
Little Winnie and her little sister Joyce. And when I met Winnie, she was just finishing up 4th grade. And I look at that now because I have my youngest daughter's in 4th grade, and I realize how small she is and what she was going, what she's going through in 4th grade and what Winnie was in 4th grade. And I always kind of joked that my heart was in Africa, and I didn't really understand what that meant until I met her. And everything just kind of seemed right. And that's it. This is the child. This is, we kind of joke that, our spouses are our soulmates. My husband understands that Winnie is mine. And so he's okay with that. And she is the absolute, just my love. And she is going to be a senior this year.
Wow.
So that's the difference. So, we've grown up together.
Okay, so I don't like it when people say this, like, oh, why don't you take care of your kids here and stuff. Mm-hmm. Talk to me, put in perspective for people that what you said, what Winnie is going through. Put in perspective, what are these kids going through that are in these orphanages in Kenya when you're there? What are the things that they are going through over there? When
we first met them, because what they go through now is very different from what they went through when we first met them. My sister-in-law and I had visited a few different homes along the way while we were there. And a lot of them, disheveled's not even the correct word. One of the, I don't want to say worst, but the hardest hit orphanage we went to was 2 very dark rooms, no windows whatsoever. They were triple bunk beds. And there were about 40 kids in a really small room, in this dark room with triple bunk beds.
Did you say 40 kids?
40 children.
Okay.
Lucky to have 1 meal a day. Possibly not going to school because they don't have the money to send the children to school. You have kids that are probably orphaned by HIV parents who are sick themselves. I mean, it's tough. It's really tough. No access to clean water. So those were the hard hit homes. St. Monica's, where we went, they did have water. They were fed, but it was very cold. Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine.
They seemed to be treated like objects in regards to, look how cute I am. I am an orphan. Can you donate money to us? And so they were more like a window shelf, and that they didn't understand that when my sister-in-law and I came in, we were there simply just to love them and to be there for them, no matter what. And so I don't think they were really seen as people. They were seen as objects, as a way to gain money. And I know that sounds horrible, but sometimes that's just the way it is. And so we didn't treat them that way. And we still don't obviously treat them that way. We actually don't talk about the hardships that they've been through.
Okay.
Because you know what? I'm sure, I don't know anything about you, Kyle, but I'm sure you've gone through things in your life that what happened to you, as a kid. I went through crap as a kid. Everybody has something. And so that's not who I am. It's just what I've been through. And so we try to focus. It's easy. Look at, little Mary, her parents died when she was 2, or she was abandoned. That's I guess an interesting way to get money, but that's not how we work. Our goal is to, no matter what you've been through, look at her now. We just had our first college graduate.
That's unbelievable.
Mary just graduated university, and she hasn't had a great life, but look at her now.
Yeah.
She's taken the opportunities that she has, and she's not a victim. She's a complete survivor of everything that she's been to, and she's a rock star to me.
Fantastic. All right, we're gonna get some bills to pay, so we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna take a quick break, and I want to talk to you about one, how many times you went to Africa before you started Mothers Fighting for Others, and then just how Mothers Fighting for Others came to be.
Awesome.
Is that all right? We're gonna take a quick break. We're talking with Rocky Turner. Is this Rocky?
Just Rocky.
Just Rocky. Rocky Turner from Mothers Fighting for Others. She is our Santa Clarita Unsung Hero. Quick break, more with her after. Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. We're speaking with Rocky Turner. She is the founder of Mothers Fighting for Others. And we've just been talking a little bit of past Rocky. And let's go a little bit more in the past. But you are our Santa Clarita Unsung Hero. So congratulations and thank you for all that you do.
Oh, thank you.
So you go to Africa for the first time. You love these kids for 3 weeks. You come back. How many trips did you have before you started Mothers Fighting for Others? What was the process in getting started Mothers Fighting for Others?
We started it the moment we got back from the first trip.
Okay. And so what was that? What was that like?
Well, it was. We had found out that there were going to be 4 girls that were going to be moving into high school, and high school is not free.
Okay.
The word free education, we have to use that word free loosely because, yes, elementary school can be free, but if you don't have the money to pay for a uniform or pay for the tests or all the books or pencils or anything of that nature, guess what? You don't get to go to school. And so there were going to be 4 girls that were going into high school, which is not free. And the director of the home at the time didn't have the money and asked if we could raise it. So we went home and we raised $4,000. And shortly after that, that's the paperwork was actually started at that point. And unfortunately, then things got ugly. We found out the director, this is the stuff we don't like to talk about, but we found out the director was lying and didn't use the money properly. And that was the last time we ever handed him money again.
That's good news.
It is good news.
Yeah.
So even though that was horrible, many great things happened from that, and that was me having to go to Kenya 3 times a year. Because if I wanted those
I'm sure you're broken up about that.
I know. Darn. If I wanted those 4 girls to go to high school, that meant that I had to go to the school myself. I had to enroll them myself. I had to go. You have kids, right?
I do. I have 2 children.
Okay. So imagine you're going to send your daughter off to boarding school. High school's boarding. So for 3 months at a time, because they go in trimesters. What are you going to need to send off with your daughter.
Okay.
So these are called requirements. So it's not just books and book bags and pens and pencils. It's everything they would need from, shoes, socks, deodorant. You're a girl, so obviously there's
Yes.
more accoutrements that go along with that. All of that needed to be purchased, then given to the child. There's bank accounts and all. It was a big hot mess,
Yeah.
but that's what we do because we wanted to make sure those 4 girls went into school. And I would have to go every January, August, and December to pay, or August, April, January, April, August,
There
holy
it is.
smokes, to go and pay those school fees for the next term.
Gotcha.
And it then went to like 8 girls, and then it went to 16 girls, and it was just sort of out of control for our little volunteer organization. But it worked, and we had people come with us, volunteers who came and helped me go shopping and spend, $8,000 on requirements for 16 children. It's tough, but we did it.
Yeah. And so that is the mission of Mothers Fighting for Others, right? Talk to people about what Mothers Fighting for Others does.
Our goal is to make sure that our children, our girls there at St. Monica's, that they have the ability to have a great education, that they are provided with a great home that's loving and nurturing, just like their mom and their dad would have wanted them if they could be there and do it for them. So, Kyle, it basically started with, I have 6 kids. What if I die? Who's going to help? Who's going to be there? Who's going to, be able to make sure my kids get the things that they need, that they get to go to school? Who's going to be there? And that sort of solidified I know there's millions of children out there that need this too.
Yeah, and so that's your guys' goal. And what are your future plans with Mothers Fighting for Others? I know you wanted to talk about this. We got stuck a little bit, but what are you guys' future goals? And by the way, you can go to mothersfightingforothers.com to learn more information. Mothersfightingforothers.com.
Well, right now, today, we have 51 children at the home, and we're in a rental because, we're going to go back just a little bit. In 2010, not only was the director misusing funds initially,
Okay.
We found out that he was actually misusing some of the children. And we found that in February 2010. By April of that year, we had them moved. So I had my Kenyan partner. Her name is Perpetua Gatomi, one of the greatest women on the face of the earth. She is my partner. She is my friend. She's my mother, my sister, everything that I could possibly want in a partner. We decided she was going to take care of the logistics, finding a new place for them and becoming their guardian because she's Kenyan. I can't do that.
Oh, okay.
And Mothers Fighting for Others was going to take care of the entire move financially. So come February, we're like, we got to get on this. And we raised about $45,000 before
Fantastic.
May 1st, and we got the children moved. And so we're still in that facility. It's a small ranch-style home that we put about 19 to 20 children in one small room,
Yeah.
but it works. It's clean, it's safe. They get 3 square meals a day. They get to go to school. They
That's
play.
wonderful.
It's just really confined. And so we're building a new home.
Trying to get bigger.
We're going to get bigger. And we actually are. Mrs. Gatomi has purchased 20 acres herself, and she's donated it back to St. Monica's. And we're trying to raise money to move them.
Okay,
It's
so
beautiful. All the pictures are on our Facebook page, too.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
Okay, so go to, and if you can donate by going to mothersfightingforothers.com, and you can go donate. You have a a blog that you can subscribe to, and you said social media. There's social media and everything.
All of our photos are up on Facebook. Just go ahead and search Mothers Fighting for Others. We update it every day, and we just put so many photos up because I was just there. So we post photos while we're
Awesome.
there, and then after. We have some great videos of the kids. So
Okay. Final question. For those thinking about getting involved or wanting to just thinking about getting involved. Sometimes people, it's intimidating, this subject. What would you say to somebody thinking about getting involved? And not necessarily Mothers Fighting for Others or Africa necessarily, but what would you say to somebody who's thinking about serving others?
I always started out with this. What moves you? What angers you? What is on TV or what do you hear on the radio that just goes, man, I can't stand when that happens? So it could be, child's rights. It could be, save the whales. Whatever it is, whatever moves you to the point of, I want to stand up and be a part of that, to change it, that's what you have to do. Figure it out. Figure out what moves you to want to stand up and do something. And once you have that, find an organization that you have the same vision, the same value system, and the possibilities are endless on how you can change things.
Awesome. Rocky, thank you so much. I could talk to you for hours, just so you know. But I only have like 4 more minutes, so I gotta go. But Rocky Turner, the founder of Mothers Fighting for Others, she is our Santa Clarita Unsung Hero. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for all that you do. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right, quick.